Join Mike and Brook Riley as they break down the hidden costs of Cleveland investment properties and how out-of-town investors often get blindsided. From 100K surprise rehab budgets to warning signs like overgrown yards and dollar stores, this quick episode covers what smart investors need to know before buying, plus their favorite East and West Side neighborhoods for long-term value. All this and more on the Cleveland Real Estate Investor Podcast.
Hi, everybody. This is Mike Riley. I've got Brook here along with Amari. I've just had a couple of situations that popped up just in the last week or two. I've had two different investors, out-of-town investors, call me. They are moaning and, their situation in purchasing a house and not getting the rents, and the property manager, I'm paying a fee, and at the end of the day, I'm basically, after paying for the mortgage, I'm making nothing. So I just came from checking out a house in the Cleveland Heights area. This investor who's in California bought it with an investment group a couple years ago. They got a property manager, and I got to tell you something. I could not believe how bad this house was on the outside. Just terrible. Overgrown. I don't know what the inside looks like, but the outside needs a total paint job. And I'm thinking to myself, no wonder they're having a problem renting this house. The place is a dump. I mean, houses in the inner city look better than this. I'm going to pass this over to you, Amari. You take a look at it. Brook can take a look at it. Just scroll through those pictures. Now, this guy seems like a real nice guy. Got in a couple of investment group. They bought a house, I think low 100s on this. The problem is, the true cost of this property is not, let's say, $120,000 for probably a 4-bedroom house, single family. It's $220,000 because he's looking at $100,000 worth of work to do on the house. So it's important that all of you who are considering buying property in the Cleveland area know exactly how much this is going to cost you. Now, we had our friend Andres. That happened over a year ago. He ended up spending over $100,000. I just had a meeting I had another meeting today with a lady who's getting ready to sell her house. She's got $85,000 she's got to put into it because she hadn't done anything in 10 years. And she wants to sell the house at a certain price point. Well, to meet that price point, she's got to paint the outside. She's got to do the whole inside. She's got to fix the garage, the back of the garage. She's got a lot of work there. It's $85,000. So what's the true value of her house if she wants to sell it for $175,000? It's $175 minus $85. That's what the house is worth. Now, I'm sure she could maybe luck out and sell it to some dumb investor who might spend $175 and then realize that they got to put $85,000 in. So the point of this podcast, this quickie emergency podcast, to those of you who are thinking of buying in Cleveland, is not only the price of the house, but is it in a good neighborhood, not a neighborhood populated by dollar stores, but a good neighborhood, and is everything on the inside and the outside and the yard and the landscaping looking good? Go ahead, Brook, your thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, all those are important variables. And I think neighborhood is, I'm not saying neighborhood is the most important, but it's definitely high up on the list. I know I've said this in previous podcasts, but if we had a time machine with our bank account that we have now, I really wish we could go back and invest, in neighborhoods like Ohio City, like Tremont. So you are looking for those neighborhoods that have really good upside. But kind of to get more specific, if you're investing in a neighborhood that's got, good school districts, good families, good stores, good businesses, and the property valuation is it's capped at a certain amount, then you got to know your numbers inside and out. You know, how much you're buying the house for, how much it needs to be fixed up, you know, not living in a fantasy world of wanting to sell it for 500,000 when the comps in the neighborhood are 375. So you have to be really smart about your numbers. And if you're not smart and if you're flying blind, do not make an impulse decision. Work with a company, work with a consultant who knows what they're doing and who can advise you on what you should do.
Hey, let's stop here. We got to pay some bills. 30 seconds, and we'll be back. If you've been listening to this podcast, then you understand or should understand the pitfalls of investing in Cleveland real estate. Say you're looking for an investment property to rent, and these are the things that could happen and often do. You overpay for a house, and it's in the ghetto. Then you find that it's a money pit with endless surprise repairs. Your hapless property manager, who may be the brother-in-law of the realtor, gets a tenant who after 3 months stops paying the rent. Then the toilet explodes, and you have nobody to repair it because, guess what? The property manager is not answering the phone. Yep, that's the ugly side of the Cleveland real estate market. But we have a solution. Buy one of our properties. It's been inspected. It's been vetted. It's in a rock-solid part of town. It comes with a Gold Star tenant paying top dollar rent, and we manage it. Call us at 216-371-8160 if you're interested. I think location is extremely important. You know, that old catchphrase, location, location, location. And when you're investing in Cleveland, there's Cleveland Heights. Most of Cleveland Heights is pretty good. There are exceptions. University Heights, all of that area is good. Shaker Heights is like Cleveland Heights. There are sections you want to be aware of. But again, here's where the dollar store rule is. If you see a lot of dollar stores in a neighborhood you're thinking of buying, that is a tip-off that this is, I don't want to say low income, but it's not the hipster. It's not the hipster area. Where are the Starbucks? Where are the restaurants? Doesn't have to be high-end restaurants, but where are the restaurants that got good Google reviews? You know, you see them right on the map, you know?
Fitness studios,
Right.
yoga, Pilates,
Right.
not necessarily planted next to like a Planet Fitness.
Yeah. Which are geared more towards the, because just, you know, not middle, upper middle. Look, if you want a good investment that's going to appreciate, that's going to draw good tenants, on the east side, it's, again, let me run it by you. You can play it back on the tape. Cleveland Heights, University Heights, Shaker Heights, Beechwood, Lyndhurst, South Euclid, Pepper Pike, Chagrin Falls, but that core east side. You get on the west side, it's more Lakewood, Rocky River, Ohio City, Tremont, Detroit, Shoreway, right?
Yeah. There's also, I mean, like, if the Browns do move to that stadium, that new stadium, that neighborhood is just going to explode.
Exactly. Yeah.
And that's what you need to be looking for.
Right.
You know?
And again, no disrespect to the real estate vendors out there, because we have good relationships with a number of them here. But if you're going to buy an investment deal, do not buy it through a realtor. You buy it from us, Riley Painting and Contracting, Riley Properties, because we're going to give you that X-ray, that MRI on that house. What's the neighborhood? What is the fix-up cost that you're going to need to get it to a certain level of rent? What's the neighborhood like? Is it safe? Because safe underlined is a very, very key word for somebody who's coming in from another city. So location and understanding what you're going to need to put into the house to get it to its true value. You don't want to overspend. You don't want to be buying something that, You bought it for $100,000, $150,000. You're coming from California. You can't believe you can buy a house for $150,000. Well, guess what? You just overpaid, right? Believe it or not. And I've said that many times on a podcast. So our emergency podcast is, it's still the spring market here. Interest rates may go down now that the courts have ruled that Trump can't throw those tariffs on. So now interest rates could come down by a couple basis points, more than people think. You're already seeing that reflected in the bond market and treasuries. So people think, well, he can't put those goofball tariffs on, which means we're not running into inflation, which means now the Fed has some room to move in terms of lowering interest rates. So you could see a real uptick in property sales as a result of all that. So, all right. So that's our quickie for now. We'll have a more detailed deep dive in June, probably in about a week, on heat check. And we'll bring one of our realtors in to give us the breakdown on the stats. Okay, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you later.
Thank you for listening to the Cleveland Real Estate Investor Podcast with Mike Riley. Please add our show or follow us on Spotify, Overcast, Apple Podcast, or Spotify. Leave a like or comment on the video. All engagement is appreciated. Subscribe to us on YouTube as well for video content coming soon. For any Cleveland listeners or Cleveland Browns fans, you can check out our other podcast, Cleveland Browns Anonymous, for our weekly group therapy session. This is also on all the same platforms as the Cleveland Real Estate Investor.